Mr. President of the Republic, Claire, colleagues, guests, and students, most important perhaps. Back to academic economics, but not only. Luigi Spaventa was a man of many parts, many qualities, many distinctions, many lives. As an economist, he did rather well for somebody who started off with a law degree. My relationship with Luigi was both personal and professional, and it was much to my benefit on both counts. I first met Luigi and Claire 45 years ago, in 1968-69, when he was a visiting fellow of All Souls College, Oxford, and I was a fellow of Balliol College. Oxford, indeed. Marcello, we called Cambridge the other place in Oxford. We never argued about the relative intellectual merits of those two institutions, nor about All Souls versus Balliol. And I was very happy to agree on the evidence of what he and Claire offered, that the All Souls wine cellar was far superior to that of Balliol. But we did argue about the importance of the Cambridge capital controversies, which I found completely uninteresting. So we passed on to other things, and I let him discuss capital theory with Bob Solow, who was visiting at Balliol that year. That experience does exemplify, however, one of Luigi's great merits. He was willing to agree to disagree when further discussion became unprofitable. Luigi played a significant role in the Center for Economic Policy Research, that's CEPR, the network of European economists. We appointed him as a research fellow in 1987, soon after I had launched the center. He had already been active in politics for over a decade, but he was keen to continue as a practicing economist, and he did very effectively. Despite the demands of his other lives, Luigi was very productive in terms of CEPR publications and activities. For the record, he wrote 6 CEPR discussion papers starting in 1990, with the last appearing in 2010, all of which were ultimately published in books or journals, one in the Economic Journal, I'm pleased to say. He was a co-author of an influential 1991 CEPR report on economic and monetary union in Europe. And from the early days of our web portal, VoxEU, Luigi wrote for it 7 columns from September 2007 through October 2010, 3 of which I discovered have already had over 10,000 reads on the web. This is all very impressive, but just as important for us were his contributions to CEPR in conferences and workshops, about 25 of these meetings, of which he is listed as an organizer for 4. He was indeed, as we say, a pillar of the community. Always generous, Luigi suggested to me more than once that he should give up his research fellow status in CEPR because he thought it might free up room for a younger person. Even if that had been true, the loss to CEPR would have been unacceptable. And of course I said no. One of Luigi's Vox columns summarized a longer CEPR policy insight that he had published in August 2009 about economics and economists and the crisis. He urged that we think afresh, that we make new departures with our models, not that we give them up or throw them away, but move them in new directions, and do empirical work that focused on understanding the economy as it really is and drawing the relevant policy conclusions. I believe that he would be happy with the range of new thinking that CEPR has since fostered. Luigi Spaventa and Francesco Giavazzi were very important in establishing the Italian presence in CEPR. There were no Italian economists in the first cohort of CEPR research fellows. Now dozens of Italians, distinguished Italian economists, are CEPR research fellows and research affiliates. Many are in this hall today. 7 Italians have been program directors of CEPR over the years. Like Francesco, Luigi felt that it was important both to attract outstanding Italian economists working abroad to return to Italy and to maintain and develop their links with top economists outside Italy, especially elsewhere in Europe. So he was a keen supporter of the project, of which we've heard, to create at Bocconi the Innocenzo Gasparini Institute of Economic Research. And he played a significant role in getting funds for it. I do not recall whether it was Luigi or Francesco who introduced me to Mario Monti in 1989, but we all quickly united in bringing CEPR into this initiative. And I am very proud of the contribution that CEPR has made to this outstanding institution. Paolo Baratta's words on Luigi and music remind me of Luigi's strong support from early days of the concerts in the festival centered at La Foce, the Incontri in Terra di Siena. This is another institution that is now very successful, in part because of his support. I end with the beginning, and with food, Marcello. On the first occasion that we dined with Claire and Luigi, one of them had just flown back to the UK from Italy, bringing a very fresh grana padano. That was our introduction to this delicious cheese. And my recollection of Luigi and Claire in that All Souls house 45 years ago is still totally clear. Whether that's because of their personalities or the grana is not so clear. And maybe that's because of the All Souls wine. Don't know. We often speak of an occasion like this as a celebration of the life of the person we have lost. That's comforting, but honestly, comforting though it may be, the loss is great, and we are sad. Most important, then, is that we learn from lives like that of Luigi Spaventa. He was a fine economist, an intellectual in the best sense of the word, but fully engaged in the political and financial worlds. Elegant, very important, in mind as well as in bearing. An Italian, yes, but also a bit of an Englishman, I'm pleased to say. A true European, an internationalist. One might say we have too few like him, but that would be an understatement. Luigi was unique. My fellow economists should take instruction and inspiration from such a life.